Developments further with Gary Amadou live for us in Niamey and Alex Cardier in Brussels. Alex, let's begin with you. France has finally said it will pull out its soldiers from Niger. What more can you tell us about this plan?
Yeah, well, it'll start by pulling out its ambassador and some diplomats. That's the announcement that Emmanuel Macron said on French television just last night. That ambassador and those diplomats will be leaving in the next few hours. President Macron a few months ago talking about the conditions that the ambassador was held in and clearly deciding now that it is not sustainable for French diplomats to stay there. He described them as being literally held hostage in the French mission in Niger, eating military rations and not receiving any food delivery. So months of pressure now from those the military junta in charge of Niger now, and that will be the first step, removing those diplomats and bringing them to safety after the situation became very untenable for them. Now in the next few months, those 1,500 troops operating in Niger from the French military will also be withdrawn, as we heard just there from our correspondent, that will happen slowly and they hope in an orderly manner. Those troops were posted in Niger for anti-jihadist operations, according to the French government. So certainly that will be a slower and more difficult process, but France will certainly look at this as a step back in the region.
Right. Amadou, what has been the reaction from Niger? I mean, after France announced this, what's the junta saying?
What we can say that, as you can guess it, the junta is very happy about the decision of France to withdraw its forces and also to withdraw its ambassador from Niger. So yesterday they made a statement saying that this is the victory of the people of Niger, who were struggling to make it to make the fact that French forces will withdraw from the country. They say that this is a victory, and they maybe hope that the Nigerian and French will have a kind of relationship in which they will have respect one to another, a kind of respectful relationship between the two countries.
All right, Alex, this announcement deals a huge blow, obviously, to French influence and counterinsurgency operations in the Sahel region. What is France's strategy going forward, especially on counterinsurgency?
Yeah, you're absolutely right to talk about that Sahel region more broadly. We've seen French troops being pushed out of Mali. We've seen French special forces being pushed out of Burkina Faso all in the last year. So that trend is certainly something that's going to be concerning French authorities. But they do still have bases in that region. They have bases in neighboring countries, in Chad and Senegal, in the Ivory Coast, where the French government has said it will continue its anti-terror, anti-jihadist operations in that region. But it will certainly be concerning. But President Macron, we heard him say he is drawing a line. He doesn't want to be held hostage by the military junta in Niger that he says ousted the democratically elected leader of Niger and does not recognize their authority, in saying only Mohamed Bazoum is the elected and therefore legitimate leader of Niger. And that is the French view of the situation in that country. But certainly those bases will keep operating. Those French troops will likely be moved to other bases, to more friendly countries like Senegal, like Chad. But certainly President Macron still defiant, saying we are not here to be hostages of the putschists and that they are the allies of disorder. He also points out that since the French troops left Mali, dozens of people have died in jihadist attacks in that country since the French military contingent left. So there's certainly concern for France's strategy in the broader region, but also real concern for the people of Niger as a result of this move.
Okay, so Gary, with the French troops withdrawing, how prepared are the junta to deal with insecurity threats posed by the insurgency?
This is, let's say, $10,000 questions that you asked me. So currently, we do not know what will happen after the withdrawal of French forces. As we know, Niger is one of the poorest countries in the world. So, and even though we have, let's say, one of the strongest army in West Africa, we do not have enough aircraft. We do not have drones, let's say, to replace French drones that gave information to military forces in the field of fighting against terrorism. So we are now going in a kind of no man's land in terms of security with the withdrawal of French forces in Niger.